Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Kojoda Sobra. It's a brand new week, a brand new day. 5th of May, 2025. You're welcome to the biggest morning show. This is the AM Club. We're coming to you live from MX24 Studios, Oleander Street, East Legon, Accra.
Well, our mission is simple, is to amplify, inform, and inspire with a fun, fearless, and fact-driven on-air experience.
Of course, we kick off with some inspiration, and now it's my daily dose of fame. It's just to inspire you this morning and make sure that if you're looking forward to being gloomy on the other side, well, it's not going to happen because we're going to give you that fame. Okay? Yes, it's a Monday. Everybody hates Mondays, but hey, we're still here. Not me, because I was born on a Monday. Yeah. So that one is out of... But sometimes I'm just like,
stay crash.
Me. But anyways, we're still here. And of course, everything that is trending, we're going to be touching things they up, you know. Kenyan president to somebody flies on shoe. If they catch that person.
If them, they don't see anything yet. They don't see the African youth where they come here.
Flies from shoe. Oh, he come. And a whole lot more. So we'll be getting straight into that. That forms Coffee Daily. And of course, Coffee Daily is brought to you kind courtesy Carbo Coffee. Carbo Coffee says they're with you every single moment. So make sure you grab a Carbo Coffee for yourself this morning. Join us. All right.
Of course, and we get into our big conversation later. We're discussing national and political news trends, and that is on our news review segment. And so please stay right here. The conversations you want us to have, we are going to be doing that later on the show. And the plug, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be an exciting one, okay? So please join us on the plug as well. So it's a jam-packed show. Ladies and gentlemen, stay right here with us.
Join us online. The hashtag is hashtag the AM Club, and our handles are at MX24GH on every single platform. YouTube, it is MX24GH. Follow MX24 on Ayoba. You can join the MX24 channel for updates or send us your messages via our Ayoba number. All right, that's 059-229 2746. I almost forgot about that one.
The
2746 059-229 2746.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
That's right. Also remember to stay with us on WhatsApp. It's 055-033-1511, 055-033-1511. Send in your comments and reactions to everything we cover here on the show. It's time for my daily dose of Vim.
Okay, so now let's get into my daily dose of fame. Time for us to get some inspiration for ourselves. Yes, when I say ourselves, that means we are also included. Yeah. All right, so let's get into it.
That's right. So we're looking at D. Thomas, born September 3rd, 1970, is an American motivational speaker, author, and consultant, and minister. Speeches by Thomas are popular on YouTube. Thomas spent 12 years working towards an undergraduate degree at Oakwood and graduated in 2001. While in Huntsville, Thomas preached and set up a program to help underprivileged youth. Ladies and gentlemen, let's watch a wonderful video, a motivational video from Eric D. Thomas. I know everybody is saying let go, forgive, move on. And when someone is telling you to forgive, Jay, you and I know that you're looking at them with bombastic side eye. You're like, wow.
Bombastic input. No, you're not looking at
if you felt what I felt, you will not tell me to forgive.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's how you're listening to them. You're listening to them from that perspective. But it's okay. I would tell you this morning, as opposed to what we just watched, that it's okay to actually feel that way. And sometimes taking back your power actually means that do not allow that kind of forgiveness to exist in your story. And I'm going to explain. Sometimes the most peaceful people are the people who let situations and human beings go. So they don't just let the situation go, but they let the human being go. And sometimes it's hard and more, you get a bit more angrier, if that's even a word. You get a bit more angry just knowing that you actually forgave that person and you hate yourself even more. So peace sometimes looks like, you hurt me, I felt it, and I'm not going to hold on to that, anger or that pain, but I'm not going to give you the luxury of my forgiveness. I know a lot of people are going to be like...
Explain the luxury.
Okay, so I know a lot of people are going to be...
Explain the luxury for us.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
I know a lot of people are going to be, but you're a child of God and you should forgive. But your power that lets you exist on this earth also gives you that much capacity to walk away from any situation that does not serve you, that does not make you happy. And sometimes some of those situations are not letting some people get that luxury of your forgiveness. Now, he wants me to explain the luxury of your forgiveness. The person intentionally planned, orchestrated, and hurt you. They talked about you, they talked on you, they sabotaged you, they took away that food from your mouth, and then you want to hand them over that forgiveness because they deserve it. Because in your heart, that's where peace comes sometimes, just sometimes. Walking away from them situation and giving them that peace of mind of, because again, somewhere last week, someone was telling me that it's easy to deal with you. She was telling me that it's easy to deal with you because every time anybody does anything to you, you're very positive. You're looking at, what could have made this person do this? Why is this person behaving like this? Or... And that is why people continuously come left with you. The day you would say that, yes, you did what you did, and I'm not going to allow you this access, and I'm not going to let you have this opportunity again, and not allow people have a second chance with you, that's when this thing will change in your life. And I felt it. When I was going back home, I was like, wow. This whole time I thought I was handing over. And you know how my posture is. When someone behaves a certain type of way, I'm thinking, why would they do that? What is going on with them? And I'm thinking that way. But the person told me that this is why you continuously get hurt this way. Change it and see how everything changes in your life. So yes, you are the only person who knows how that thing felt. And to let the motivational speakers speak. Let them tell you how to handle it. And he said something that actually almost egged me out until he said that, well, I didn't say that is your fault. Because when you have been raped, sexually abused, verbally abused, mentally abused, you don't take the responsibility, but you actually take the responsibility of your life to never let it happen to you again. That does not mean that you let them off the hook. Let them be right there. Okay? Yeah.
Remember, I keep on saying this, that when it comes to forgiveness, forgiving someone doesn't mean you will still let the person be in your space.
True.
It means, okay, you did this to me. It hurt me. Fair enough. It's more or less when you think about, you see, there's a difference between thinking about the person and then thinking about what the person did to you. So when you think, because if you think about what the person did to you, you will still get hurt.
Yes.
Regardless. But maybe you're just thinking of maybe the person's mind or the person's name just pops into your head.
You're dead to me.
That's it.
You're dead to me.
That's it. So it's okay to forgive somebody in the sense that when you think about the person and you are no longer angry, it's much more like, oh,
Exactly. That's when you have done the work on yourself.
Yes, that's when you've forgiven the person.
Yeah.
And that's forgiveness. That doesn't necessarily mean, hey, go and talk to the person again or go and hang out with the person again. No. You could equally forgive someone and be distant. It's fine. So we're not saying that forgive somebody by... I mean, there are certain people that you forgive them and you allow them into your space.
Also,
again.
Jay, it's important to also note the capacity of the harm they might have caused.
Oh, yes, that's what I'm saying, that there are certain people, that would depend on what harm it is. Because there are certain people that you'll be like, oh, no, I mean, we get back, we talk. I mean, yes. And sometimes, even talking to the person, sometimes it's not just, it wouldn't be like how it was at first. Maybe it's a hi, hello. First it was like conversations, but you did something that hurt me. Okay, now it's like hi, hello. Yes, the person is still in your space. It's like you still greet the person. You still, have some chats with the person, but it's not that deep as it was first. So it's fine, and it's okay. This morning, thing here is, what I loved about the video is, the solution is in your hands at the end of the day. It's in your hands. Yeah. You are the solution. So whatever you want to do, it's up to you. So you have the capacity. It's in your jurisdiction. You have the solution. At the end of the day, no one is going to hold your hand and say, and I'm speaking on the physical side of me holding Mimi's hand and saying, please, go and talk to this person by force. That won't work. That's left up to her. The best I can say is that, oh, Mimi, let it go. If you want to say hi, say hi. If you want to cut it off, cut it off. As simple as that. At the end of the day, actions will speak louder than words. So if I come in and I see she's talking to somebody who hurt her, then I'll be like, oh, okay, the solution is in her hands. She knows why she's still talking to this person. So it's in your hands. How you deal with it, it's in your hands. The solution lies in your hands. That's what we're saying this morning. All right. That's a wrap for Daily Dose of Vim for this morning. We hope you have that Vim. Now, time for us to take a quick look at major happenings across the world next, getting straight into Coffee Daily. But before that, you know how we do. Every single Monday morning, we have to give you this. Here. Give you some spot of music just to ginger you a bit. All right, so we'll get into that and then we'll be right back for Coffee Daily. Don't go anywhere.
As every Monday morning, every Tuesday morning, every Wednesday morning, every Thursday morning, and Friday morning. My prayer for you this week is may you go out there protected. May no harm befall you this week. Have a wonderful, wonderful week protected by divine protection, or be given divine protection, but be protected by God Almighty. Make sure to go out there knowing that, in fact, knowing whose you are. Okay, that's my prayer for you this morning. Welcome back from that break. This is still the AM Club coming to you live from the MX24 studios, or in the street. Go on Accra, Ghana. It's now time for Coffee Daily. We're going to be looking at what is trending on X. But before we do that, let's talk about something we all want, and that is success. Everybody wants it. Everybody dreams of it. We all aspire to succeed and make a mark in life. We push ourselves to excel, enduring challenges along the way just to be successful, Charlie. When work gets tough, and I bet it will, you need that extra boost to keep pushing forward. And on those days, you need somebody to be there for you. Cowboy Coffee will be by your side. It's a rich, creamy 3-in-1 blend with a great taste and aroma that will aid kickstart your day. So whether you're working or just creating beautiful memories with friends and loved ones, Cowboy Coffee will be by your side every single moment of the way. So no matter where you're at, as you chase after those goals, keep Cowboy Coffee close to stay motivated and going. Remember, Cowboy Coffee is with you every single moment. Now let's check what's trending on X.
I was looking for my handkerchief.
I woke up this morning and I had a voice in my head. It's going to be a good week.
Oh, woman of God, woman of God, woman of God.
So I want us all to share in the good week.
Preach on.
No matter what happens this week, have a good week.
Preach on.
Okay.
Preach on. Preach on.
Oh, so you don't want a good week, Gabby? You don't want a good week. Oh my goodness. I just discovered a new song on obviously someone that I know. But I love the song so much because somehow this gentleman knows how to get us to be praying. But I'm going to hook you up on that song. So remind me.
Okay.
What is trending?
You are reminded. A lot of things, a lot of conversations happening.
Did you say I'm reminded to hook you up right now?
Yeah, no, you are reminded. So I'm reminding you. So I should remind you. So I'll keep on reminding you.
For all my people who are out there who want to know what song it is David's Cry, I believe. David's Cry by Ebuka Songs. See, if you want to find some motivation to pray, you know how he came with I will pray,
yeah.
And people, once you start playing that song, like somehow pray. You will pray.
Yeah.
Now, this one is another anthem that let's push to make happen. Honestly, man, I loved it.
All right, save the judiciary demo.
It's happening.
So we'll get into that. Conversations are going in. With
this morning,
this one is not only the NPP. We're hearing,
the
other political parties are joining in to protest. I'm hearing they're starting from the Supreme Court.
Yes.
And they're moving all the way to the Jubilee House.
Yep.
All right. Also, I think the ministry.
Do we have MPs? Okay, well, Monday they don't sit in Parliament, so I can
but a lot of MPs have pledged.
But so Mondays, they don't sit on Mondays, so even if they were not on recess, they would still be able to make it anyway.
I think the Ministry of Education, Honorable Minister, is also not too happy.
Yeah.
Says that it was part of their promise that we're going to allow, heads of institutions to procure food.
Yes. And
they are not happy. They are not satisfied with the kind of food that is coming in. So they might look into that and revoke
again.
That.
Yeah. And you know what that was supposed to be? Give you the autonomous power to feed the children that you so care about. So you don't have to stress going into some, other institution that manages the food affairs of the children. Is it not easier for you?
It's easy for you. Why are human beings like this?
Anywho.
Sansuna, your president, Mahama.
Yes.
Or say there's a new money appointees, new code of conduct.
It was in the 120-day contract. Yes, a social contract they had with us. In Erbano. Ebubo neba. Neba.
Sanso na yet say ECG for. Mem say Achimota side hon. Mem say blast be by. And there were some parts or areas in the country that didn't have light. Say Kwabenya for kakra. There be. I bet you say Kwame Amankwa for me say let me cry for the other cow. And I was shocked say like me my side I don't get some. But when they give me light off left right center I don't get some. Kwame kakra cantonments kakra but almost my restore BBI. Me pamocho mo amoshe if you still don't have light. Please, we want to confirm. So if you still don't have light, please kindly let us know. So we can also direct it back to them and let them know that, hey, Mokaya and also will be seeing any light. And I don't know. The dish, Koso.
Yes. Why are you hosting in Chi today? What's going on?
It's Holy Spirit filled.
I'm going to say it's Ghana month. Are you going to say it's Ghana?
It's not Ghana month. It's not Ghana month.
Okay. Yes.
The dish Koso.
Yes.
Who are your guests?
Ekoso. I have Victoria Lebene.
Okay.
And Dr. Theresa Fianco. Okay.
And then I'm more kind.
And your topic, is submission in marriage.
Submission in marriage.
And you know that the Bible actually encouraged women.
Yeah.
But commanded men. I want to say on live television that you know the Bible didn't say that men please. It said he commanded men to love their own wives and encouraged. It's two different things. Encourage women to be submissive and respect.
He didn't command women.
He didn't command.
Hey.
It's your partner. Today we're talking about that. But the only reason why the Bible encouraged women to do that because it definitely brings peace home.
Of course.
It boosts the ego of the men. And then discusses well. We're looking at it being a one-sided conversation that does it make women less?
Okay.
You know, we're talking equality. No, not equality as such, but you know the Bible says that, and the two shall be one.
Yeah.
So if we say one person should submit, and one person should be the one, for lack of a better expression. Remember one time we went to visit some big Bambi cantonment, you and I, and he said to us that marriage, he asked you how marriage was going.
Yes.
And you said, oh, marriage, and then he told you that sometimes one person has to be a fool.
Yes.
And he chooses to be the fool.
Yeah.
And he's a big man in the marriage.
Yeah.
So sometimes for peace to come, when we are talking about equality, just my husband and I becoming one, my submission, does it take away my power of becoming one with my partner? Well, today, my guest and I will delve into it. And these are two married women who have stayed long in marriage and relationship, and they understand. So today, don't miss it. It's at 8 p.m. Right here on MX24. We'll be live on all social media platforms. Don't miss it at all. It's going to be an interesting conversation.
Righty. So you definitely have to make it a date. Of course, this evening, it's the dish. Trending in Ghana, hashtag 120-day social contract delivered. Almost delivered. Yes, so we'll look into that. Whether every single thing that has been mentioned there has been delivered, yes or no. All right, Hurricane and football, yes, I think that he's received a trophy as part of being part of Bayern Munich. Hashtag Abba Papa Abba. As to whether that is true
or not,
it still backs back to their.
I mean, today we want
contract.
Ghanaians to send us their messages. You know, we want to hear from Ghanaians.
Steph will definitely be Steph Curry. Yes, Curry right there. Anthony Adagola. Super clash. It wasn't a super clash at all. Because we could count the number of people who went to the stadium. Kumasi Asante Kotoko versus House of Oak. And you can count the number of people who went to the stadium.
That's not good. I mean, their last game was super packed.
Charlie. Lavia Warriors, Caicedo, Chelsea. Of course, Chelsea beating Liverpool. I just feel like Liverpool have won the league, so they just dashed it to Chelsea for them to, to beat them. Yeah, winning league navy ain't it? Muna points. Yes.
Expand on anything.
Or about the cloud magnet. Is it the one about we know?
Do you want us to look at it? Because I heard last week he was talking about wanting to be PR for Forest Commission, and he's been denied. Hey,
but he's trending a lot too. Let me see whether it's the same. Maybe it's not the winning or anybody we know. And you know. Asante Kotoko is also trending. Okay. But Roxin Soul says the standard has been raised high. Hashtag 120-day social contract delivered. Hashtag Abaim Papa Abba. Okay. Joe says President Mahama within the first 14 days presented to Parliament the full list of cabinet ministers. Hashtag 120-day social contract delivered. Hashtag Abaim Papa Abba. Mr. Kojo says no free stress policy implemented. Into Students Loan Trust Fund, no. All right, so SLTF opens registration portal for first-year students. So they did talk about it. Yes, and this is dated 29th of April. And the Minister of Education, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, has launched an application portal for first-year students of public tertiary institutions in Ghana to register for financial support from the Students Loan Trust Fund under the No Fees Stress Policy. The No Fee Stress Policy is a transformative, bold and visionary initiative designed to mitigate the financial barriers that hinder Ghanaian students from accessing tertiary education. It is a strategic investment by the government in our nation's human capital development and future competitiveness, and will catalyze Ghana's quest for accessible and inclusive higher education. The Students Loan Trust Fund, in tune with its mandate to provide financial resources for the benefit of students of accredited tertiary institutions, is committed to the successful rollout and implementation of this policy. The No Fees Stress Portal offers a streamlined registration process, enabling students to easily provide their information and allowing the SLTF to efficiently authenticate their eligibility for government support under this policy. The portal is now live and accessible, and they put nofeestress.sltf.government.gh/. So that's another portal too as well. For extra support or information, please call us on 0302 or visit our zonal offices. Signed, Dr. Sajida Shiraz, CEO. All right. Frame 1 from Yao Edufo. Promise. Frame 2 delivered. A man you can trust. Frame 1 will hold a National Education Forum to better sector. Frame 2, President sets up committee to plan educational forum. All right. Charlie, this one is just like evidences. So evidences on a 120 social contract. Barry says he promised 60 ministers and gave us 56 ministers. Hey! Hey!
Hard guy.
Hey!
Hard guy.
General Advocacy says cabinet ministers were appointed even before the 14 days following President John Mahama's delivery. Okay. Where's the see action? I've already read that. Okay. So, oh, beautiful picture. Oh.
You missed it.
Oh.
Beautiful picture.
Effort.
And it looks like they both have the same eyes.
Yes.
That's what we know when you break.
No, it's just that the president's eyes are like your eyes.
They're like my eyes. They're missing.
They're like your eyes.
You can't find them.
You cannot find them. You would not find them.
It's in the family. It's in the family.
You would not find them.
Don't come and ask me what family, but it's in the family.
Yeah? Okay. Kojo Dynamic says, on this side, 56 ministers. On this side, 123 ministers. But there's been a conversation with regards to this, because, well, I remember that the NPP also in Parliament, the MPs started, rising up and bringing up a song. Say, hey, one government, appointments be brief. You get it? Aha, so for them, instead of the ministers, we are the ministers of the cut short.
To me, ascertaining appointments are any relevant. See, that's what the problem is. So if you think the appointments are a lot, are these appointments already existing industries or sectors that needed appointments. So if your person was there, they removed and replaced, or they set up new appointments, or set up new sectors. So again, I mean, I think
where the appointments is okay, president, CEO, deputy.
But these people, all these places, they need CEO and deputy.
All right.
We've not seen 3 deputies of one sector. I mean, that was supposed to be a shade.
Political Fabrizio says, just few months in office, President Mahama has made tertiary education totally free and accessible to students with special needs and disabilities. President Mahama is trustworthy, personified. All right. This will be launched on Wednesday, 7th of May, 2025, but we're hearing that tomorrow ends the 120. It's Wednesday in the year. 121.
President Fanchano. And I'm a Fanchano. There be a Fanchano.
Fanchano.
And
this all year contract. A contract is a contract.
A contract is a contract.
A contract is a contract. Inti, we breach contract, no. This one was in part.
It's part.
All right. All right.
It's bad.
Anyway, Inti, that's it. That's it for what's trending on X. And of course, you want to also let us know what's trending on your end. Yeah. We are open to hear about it. But quick turn, when we come back, our guest is on standby. We get straight into our Indo stories. We'll be right back.
Visit www.mx24online.com for news, exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, up-to-the-minute sports updates, and the latest broken pen stories now. Experience more of MX24 Online. Visit mx24online.com today. MX24. Fun, fearless, and factual.
With just 24 hours to the expiration of President John Dramani Mahama's 120-day contract to the Ghanaian people after he announced it on the 7th of January 2025, what is the faith of those promises? Have they been fulfilled? Well, today on the news on the AM Club, we will be taking a good look or a closer look at the 120-day contract by President John Dramani Mahama, asking the big question, 26 promises, how many delivered, how many implemented, how many outstanding? Joining us for this discussion will be a political analyst from the University of Cape Coast. We'll have deeper conversations about it, getting to understand the political basis for these things, how it has been so far, and what it's going to be looking like. But good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm okay.
Right.
I'm great. I'm hearing that you have somebody on standby to this one. Well, our pens and our papers. I mean, we need to check the boxes. This boom, this boom, this boom. What is left?
But you went through a couple of them, too.
But if there's something before, I understand saying by tomorrow everything for being dangerous.
Yeah.
If not, then the contract has been breached.
Okay.
Hello.
Well, shouldn't we be giving him some credit? Looking at the fact that it's about 26, which is a tall list, he has achieved a little over 16, which is like half. Why not give him credit for it?
If this is a contract, okay, I didn't sign the contract, did I?
Right.
We should have had a way of us signing the contract. That would have been a very nice one. So that by tomorrow, if all have not been implemented, then I can actually even take the president to court.
Okay.
Yeah. Should have been done.
Right.
But anyways, let's get into it.
Let's get into our stories for this morning and start off as a coalition of political parties led by the New Patriotic Party, NPP, is set to stage a demonstration today, Monday, May 5, 2025, in what the NPP deems as a politically motivated attack on judicial independence following the controversial suspension of the Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu from office. The protests will see party members and supporters march through principal streets of Accra. Now, other participating political parties include the Liberal Party of Ghana, LPG, the National Democratic Party, NDP, the People's National Party, PNP, the Ghana Union Movement, among other parties. Now, the NPP says this action is in response to what it terms as a calculated and dangerous interference in the judiciary's operations by political actors affiliated with the governing National Democratic Congress, NDC. On your screens are some videos taken this morning as some party supporters and some Ghanaians. We do not know which party they belong to, whether they are party supporters or just Ghanaians who just want to be part of this protest. Some coming off buses to begin the protest. The protest will start off at a park close to the Supreme Court, then proceed through Parliament and finally end at the Jubilee House, or the seat of government, where a petition will be presented directly to the president or a representative by the president. Like I said, these are footages taken earlier this morning. We do not know if the procession has started because it was supposed to start at 7. It's almost 8 p.m. and we will be bringing you updates. As always, we are your ears, your eyes on ground as well. We'll bring you updates with regards to how this particular demonstration progresses, what the end result will be. Would they be able to submit the petition to the president, and subsequently what action the president will take after the petition has been submitted? As always, we'll bring you updates with regards to this particular story. Now, Asante Hino Otumfuo II has given conviction of his resolve to help bring lasting peace to the troubled area Boko and its environs. Now, this comes after efforts to resolve the protracted Boko conflict was temporarily postponed due to the complexity surrounding the long-standing chieftaincy dispute. However, the Asante-Hene noted that he is confident that recent mediation talks with the feuding factors will bring peace to the area. Now, he made this while speaking at a meeting with a delegation from the UK Advanced Command and Staff Corps at the Mesha Palace. The Asante-Hene said lasting peace will surely be restored to Boko. Now let's do some presidency, as President John Dramani Mahama is expected to unveil a new code of conduct for all government appointees later today, May 5, 2025. Now this will mark a significant step in implementing his administration's 120-day contract. The announcement was made by the Minister in charge of Government Communications, Felix Kwame, in a Facebook post on Sunday, May 4, 2025, where he described the week as a pivotal moment for the government reform agenda. The first made during the swearing-in of ministers, the Code of Conduct is designed to establish clear ethical standards for public officials. President Mahama emphasized that the code would spell out the do's and don'ts of public service, eliminating ambiguity and reinforcing the administration's commitment to integrity. Now, it is expected to serve as a framework for accountability and guide the conduct of appointees across various sectors of government. Now, we know this particular code of conduct is a part of the 120-day contract. Since appointments have been made and swearing-ins, we've only had the president say it by word of mouth. But today, he's going to unveil what the code of conduct will be, whether it's going to be a document, but it is going to be a framework that will guide the work of government appointees in coming days, or in this
Ghana has to offer. And we must meet that moment, not by just mimicking others, but by proudly owning and elevating our uniqueness. Now, allow me to briefly lighten the mood with a quote from none other than the President of the Republic. Just yesterday, he's quoted as saying, when Ghanaians are happy, we drink. When we are neither happy nor sad, we still drink. So how can you sell alcohol and be in debt? While humorous, the remark captures a deeper truth. Beverages, especially alcoholic ones, are deeply interwoven with our social rituals, milestones, and moonscapes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an industry which is alive with possibilities. It is driven by talent, sustained by creativity, and now increasingly guided by strategy. As local brands competing with multinationals or craft producers carving their niche, the Ghanaian beverage space is dynamic and full of promise. As we raise our glasses tonight, let us toast to an industry that refuses to stand still. Let us celebrate not just the drinks, but the dreams behind them. Let us connect, collaborate, and commit to pushing this industry beyond borders, so that one day, when someone, perhaps in Tokyo, or Nairobi, or Australia, or my village in Nkari picks up a bottle, it is not just a beverage, but a bit of Ghana.
Of the global of the Ghana Media Alliance, that is NS Boateng speaking, urging Ghanaian producers of beverages to create authentic products that meet up with international standards. But the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana is the government to take urgent action in addressing the growing influx of foreign goods on the Ghanaian market, an issue they say is threatening the survival of local manufacturers. Now, according to the association, the dominance of imported products is crowding out Ghanaian-made goods, undermining local industries' growth and making it increasingly difficult for domestic producers to expand their footprint both locally and across the West African sub-region. Now, the Executive Secretary of the Association, Samuel Agri, speaking to the media on the sidelines of the 8th Ghana Beverage Awards, stressed that the challenges extend beyond Ghana's borders. He noted that despite Ghana's potential, local beverage companies face stiff competition and limited opportunities when trying to expand into ECOWAS markets due to various trade and regulatory hurdles. He spoke to the media. This is what he had to say.
We expect from the government is how they can curb the influx of the foreign products, especially within the West African sub-region, because our market is open and most of the products coming from especially Nigeria are being produced here. Now, when you want to send your product across to Nigeria, they are very restrictive in these areas. And therefore, for the beverages that are produced here, to allow them to come in at a cheaper cost and also compete with what we have here is a big, big problem that we need to tackle and make sure that the Ghanaian industries also survive. Unfortunately, our markets or the consumer market in this country are not large like what we have in Nigeria. But there's an atmosphere of competitiveness, and we need to take times, opportunity to make sure that we succeed in this area. We cannot let the other countries take up our markets whilst we also suffer in this area. Let me tell you, Ghana is producing the best products, competitive to the whole world. What are coming in from the advanced countries is what Ghana is producing, thanks to the Ghana Standard Authority and the FDA, ensuring that the quality of products are being produced. But when you go out there, you cannot tell what is coming in. And we've seen so many videos on social media and other things, how these people are being busted up because of the kind of product that they are producing in their hidden areas, and you cannot tell the quality of it. But when they come into the market, they imitate the product that we are really producing in this country, because they realize that these are products that are selling. So they also take advantage to produce the inferior one and then bring them in. If no one is checking, then of course what is going to happen is that we'll be consuming an inferior product. But we thank FDA for being very vigilant in checking on all these things, and especially the tax stamp that has also come in to ensure that product that comes in from other areas do not enter the market the way it's supposed to be. But the most critical thing that we need to look at is how the production cost is hurting the local industry. That is what is giving way for other people to produce and bring it into this country.
Now, still on the Ghana Beverage Awards, Bell Cola was named Product of the Year at the prestigious Ghana Beverage Awards 2024, affirming its place as one of the nation's most exceptional beverages, offering the award one of the most coveted in Ghana's beverage industry, honest products that exemplify excellence in taste, quality, innovation, and consumer appeal. Now, speaking to the media, the marketing manager for Glochem Industries, Magnus, they acknowledged the significance of the award to the company.
A very exciting year for us at Glochem Industries. This category been won by Glochem for Product of the Year, that is Bell Cola. I think that it's a very deserving award because Bell Cola is Ghana's pride today. We have toppled all the international brands. We have fought and has dominated the market consistently for at least the past 3 years. The conversation has been all around Bell Cola, the quality of the product we churn out there, and every benefit that it gives to the consumer has so resonated with the Ghanaian market. So if you look, any cola consumer and prospective cola consumer has their go-to for Bell Cola. And I think that the team has really worked so hard from CEOs, Mr. Manoj Lakiani and Diraj Lakiani. I believe that the partners and distributors, trade partners, have also fought so hard to put the product on the tables of Ghanaians, and the internal team, commercial, marketing, sales, everyone has been working very hard to ensure that this product has become the choicest cola brand on the market. For us, it means that excellence pays. If you see a product that is of this level of quality and excellence, and it's a Ghanaian-made product that needs to be celebrated, I believe that it simply says that excellence is rewarded.
Well, congratulations to Bell Cola for winning the Product of the Year at the Ghana Beverage Awards 2024. Now let's talk about the 120-day contract by President John Dramani Mahama. Why? Well, time is not on the side of the president, as his 120-day contract elapses in a couple of hours on, that's tomorrow, Tuesday, the 6th of May 2025. We would be looking at what the 120-day contract is. Now let's get straight into it. Now, what is the 120-day contract? A lot of people have been asking. We had so many conversations about the 120-day contract, but what exactly is the 120-day contract? This is a scorecard by X24. Now, President John Dramani Mahama's contract is a comprehensive reform agenda he unveiled during the 2024 presidential campaign and re-echoed it on the 7th of January when he was sworn in. Now, this initiative outlines some 26 key commitments aimed at transforming Ghana's governance, economy, and social sectors within the first 4 months of his administration, from January till, late April into early May. That was what the 120-day contract, or that was the lifespan of the 120-day contract. Now, let's break it down into sectors. First of all, starting off with governance and institutional reforms. He says that he was going to constitute the leanest government. That says he would establish the most efficient government under the Fourth Republic within the first 90 days. Was he able to do this? Well, we'll talk about it later with a political analyst. Establish a code of conduct, implement a robust code of conduct for all government officials. Cabinet appointments. He says he was going to nominate a complete list of cabinet ministers within the first 14 days of parliamentary approval. Anti-corruption was going to conduct forensic audits into high-profile scandals, including the collapse of banks and the National Cathedral project. Now, the economy, he says he was going to reduce taxes. Now, this was one of the main campaign messages of the NDC in the 2024 election campaign. Scrap the e-levy, COVID-19 levy, 10% levy on betting winnings and emissions levy within the first 90 days. Industrial support, review taxes and levies on vehicles and equipment imported for industrial and agricultural purposes. The 24-hour economy, well, he says he was going to draft legal amendments and prepare for implementing the 24-hour economy policy. Was this able to be achieved? We'll get into that pretty shortly. And then social interventions. Education, he says, was going to introduce a no academic fee policy, or the no fee stress policy, for first-year students in public tertiary institutions and provide free tertiary education for persons with disabilities. Sanitary pads distribution, distribute free sanitary pads to female students in primary and secondary schools. Healthcare, launch the Ghana Medical Care Trust Fund, commonly known as the Mahama Cares Fund. Environment and security initiatives. Illegal mining. He says was going to ban illegal mining in forest reserves and launch initiatives to restore degraded areas. Investigations. He says was going to reopen investigations into unresolved criminal cases, including the 2020 election killings and other high-profile cases. This we have seen with the opening of Ahmed Swale's death. You know, the whole legal battle that has surrounded that case. We've seen that. Then Dam Disaster Probe, initiate a probe into the man-made disaster caused by the VRA spillage from the Akosombo Dam and Kwong dams, with steps to compensate affected victims. Now let's run you through the initiatives quickly. Initiatives that he has been able to undertake in his 120-day contract. Well, today marking 119 days, he says he was going to nominate within the first 14 days the complete list of cabinet ministers for parliamentary approval. This, we saw him do so. Check. Constitute the leanest and most efficient government under the Fourth Republic in the first 19 days. Well, this is relative. This is subject to arguments as to the definition of what leanest and most efficient means. But he has been able to put together a government under his administration, the first 90 days of his administration. He's been able to do that. Hold a national economic dialogue, which we saw him hold at the Accra International Conference Center somewhere in March, where he brought together stakeholders from various sectors in terms of the economy to have a conversation about the progression of the Ghanaian economy, what they can do to bounce back in terms of building a better economy. This we saw him do. Within my first 90 days, he says he will scrap the following draconian taxes: e-levy, 10% levy on betting winnings and emissions levy. Now, Ghanaians are not happy. Why? Because this is not a full list of scrapping taxes the president promised. Where is COVID-19 levy? The president faltered on COVID-19, so COVID-19 is not part of the list of levies or taxes he promised to abolish. However, e-levy is gone. It's still relative because GRA has some more back conversations to do. 10% levy on betting winnings and the emissions levy, which we saw that the NPP says that, you know what, it was instituted, but revenue was not collected. However, President John Dramani Mahama has scrapped these taxes. Convened a National Consultative Conference on Education. He's done that as well. Introduced the following social interventions: the Ghana Medical Care Trust, known as the Mahama Cares Fund, which you saw him do last week. Commenced the distribution of free sanitary pads to female students in primary and secondary schools. This we have seen him launch. However, distribution has, we do not know if that has been done. We'll do some follow-ups on that as well. Launched the following priority job creation programs: a Jumara program, National Apprenticeship program, and 1 million coders program. This we have seen him do as well. High-profile cases, high-profile criminal investigations reopened. Like I said, we've seen a lot of it, including that of the Ahmed Swale murder as well. Compensation allocation for the victims. We had that in the budget, the 2025 budget that was presented by the finance minister as well. Ban illegal mining and new mining activities in forest reserves. Roll out our Tree for Life and Blue Water Initiative program to heal the sustainability of the environment. This we've seen him do. The Blue Water Guards initiatives, we've seen him deploy them. The Tree for Life has also been done. Launch the Black Star Experience, which we saw him do last week Friday at the Black Star Monument here in Accra. Implements the non-academic fee policy for all first-year students in public tertiary institutions. We've seen him launch the portal for registration. However, the implementation has not started. There's still much conversation as to how this is going to roll out When does it kick start? Because we have some level 100s in school. Are we going to see them pay, or is it going to start off with a new crop? He says he was going to establish. Now, let's do what he has not yet done. Establish a robust code of conduct and standards for all government officials. This, we know, he's going to unveil today. Scrap COVID-19 levy. We heard that was going to be done in the second budget. Commence drafting needed, legal amendments and prepare for the implementation of the 24-hour economy under the office of the president. We've seen so much conversation about 24-hour economy yet to be done. Within my first 90 days in office, review taxes and levies on vehicles and equipment imported into the country for industrial and agricultural purposes, yet to have that conversation. Establish an accelerated export development council, yet to undertake. Institute a government policy banning political appointees from purchasing state assets. Now, we know that the word is out. From the get-go, from their swearing in, President Mahama made this clear. However, the policy has not yet been instituted. Would it be done within the shortest possible time, less than 24 hours, is yet to be seen. Lay before Parliament a new bill to streamline government scholarship administration, prohibit political appointees from accessing government scholarships, and eliminate political patronage, cronyism, nepotism, and corruption in awarding government scholarships. Yet to be done. That is yet to be done. Now, let's better appreciate this 120-day contract and have a conversation with Dr. Jonathan Asante Ocho. He's a political analyst and senior lecturer at the University of Cape Coast. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Augustine.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now, from where you sit as a political analyst, looking at the fact that President John Dramani Mahama has barely 24 hours to, round up his 120-day contract, or for the 120-day contract to expire, from where you sit as a political analyst, how would you rate President John Dramani Mahama so far on the 120-day contract?
Thank you, Augustine. Let me say good morning to your viewers. The point is that governance is not something that you can just sit somewhere and then deal with matters as it should be. It is a process. There are certain things that, because you are dealing with human beings, you will have to take your time. If you ask me, I think I wouldn't give him anything less than in between B+ and an A. Just because if you look at the issues that are within that 120-day social contract, you appreciate that some are more of importance, some come with some significance, others by a stroke of pen, you can easily do that. And so I think that so far so good, because all these contractual arrangements, social contractual arrangements, will have to affect the economy. And it shouldn't be a negative, it shouldn't have a negative effect on the economy. And so if you look at it from a total perspective, then you will appreciate the fact that, look, to take away e-levy comes with significant financial implications for government. The emissions levy, the betting tax, and so on and so forth. Having the leanest, government in the Fourth Republic comes with financial benefits to the nation. And so if you ask me, I think that so far I'm not seeing inflation going up, which ought to be within the 120 because of the effect of those policies. I'm not seeing inflation going up. I'm rather seeing fuel prices coming down for about 5 times in a row. And then, obviously, the CB is gaining strength against the dollar. Now, if you look at this, if you look at these positive effects, and relate that or juxtapose that with a 120-day contractual arrangement, then it means that it's on the threshold of success. And that is why I say that, though all of them have not been fulfilled, I can say that it's between B+ and an A.
Right. Now, Doc, let me take you back on your description. You mentioned as part of the 120-day contract, he said he was going to constitute a leanest and most efficient government. There's been so much debate about the definition of what a lean and efficient government is. From your side, as a political analyst, would you say that this government is running a lean and efficient government in terms of appointments?
Yeah, as far as, of course, there are so many appointments that they've not even done. The point is that you must have something to compare with. What is a comparator? The comparator is the fact that in the previous government, we had as much as 126 ministers.
Right.
In the second term, it came down.
Right.
Here is the case, he promised 60. He's not even giving 60. He's giving us 46, 56.
Right.
So outstanding. And so if you look at it from this perspective, even on the face of it, there is the fact that this is the leanest government so far within the Fourth Republic. When it comes to presidential staffing, they have reduced significantly. Don't also forget that even presidential allocation to the president has reduced. So if you reduce the number of presidential staffers, then there must be a financial correspondence in terms of financial allocation to the presidency, which we are seeing. So you see, at the end of the day, government will not be committed to unnecessary expenditure, frivolous expenditure. And if they are able to do so and implement that and stick to it, then certainly they will be able to have surpluses here and there. And you see, that will mean that they will have to increase efficiency in terms of technology. Because once you reduce human intervention, human interferences, it means you have to improve, technology. So if you have a situation where, the 1 million coders fit into it, then certainly you could see that this is an approach that is very comprehensive. It is not as though the policies are withered or they don't fit into each other. Yes, you mentioned the 24-hour economy, certainly. 24-hour economy is something that is very big. And we are struggling as a nation with energy. And to do a 24-hour, you need energy. And as of now, we are virtually having equilibrium between demand and supply in terms of who is demanding and who is supplying. We just cannot have enough because the previous government did not invest in that sector. All what they were saying was that we have excess energy, and we could not do the needful as a nation because from the time of President Rawlings up to Mr. Fofo's time, we were increasing in what? Energy in terms of demand. And so these things will have to be put in the right perspective. That being said, as the question you rightly asked, I think that as of now, if a situation like this that has cropped up with respect to the efficient government, the leaner government, I think that I'll score the government very high in that area.
Right, right. Now let's get into the details of the 120-day contracts. First of all, starting with the code of conduct. And we saw the ex-Wa government led by President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo put out a certain, well, for lack of a better expression, a committee to probe into it. We saw the AG saying that it has been referred to cabinet. However, we never saw it taking off the shores of cabinet in terms of implementation. How difficult or how long does it take, or how long should it take for government to put together a code of conduct to help government appointees in terms of ethical standards with regards to the appointments?
Austin, the code of conduct is not just merely a document that is put out and that should not see the light of day. It should, because, you see, within the 120-day promise, don't forget, he said that they are going to ensure that government or members of government who are politically exposed not in any way, purchase
state assets.
Right. So obviously, these things should be part of the code of conduct. It should be. And then how they are supposed to conduct themselves, the president says that nobody is going to fly a first class. Now, that should appear in the code of conduct. So it means that how do we conduct ourselves within government? That is something that must be established in the code of conduct. And it is not just a 9-day wonder or just by the tip of the finger that these things become established.
Right.
They must be very comprehensive and should encompass, governance, structure, and all those things. And that's the more reason why probably that has taken a little while to come out.
Right. Now, President John Dramani Mahama says he was going to scrap a couple of taxes he and the NDC termed as draconian on the Ghanaian people. Amongst them, COVID-19 levy, e-levy, betting tax, emissions levy, which we later heard was never collected, but President Mahama went ahead to scrap it. Now, we've seen the scrapping of 3 out of 4 of these taxes, with COVID-19 outstanding. Would Ghanaians be asking for too much if they are calling on the president to also scrap the COVID-19 levy, in as much as he's done e-levy, emissions levy, betting tax? Would they be asking for too much if they ask him to scrap the COVID-19 levy?
Well, it's not as though they have not decided to scrap the COVID-19 levy. I think that before the budget was read, they had not comprehensively dealt with the issue, because don't forget that taking away e-levy, betting tax will create a hole within the budget. Now you could see that ingeniously the Honorable Finance Minister was able to plug that hole by using a tax return or something of that sort. What everybody was looking out for, including the opposition, was the fact that, oh, they are going to see high in taxes. We didn't see that.
Right.
Don't also forget that he is also promised to do VAT rationalization because there's too much tax on tax. And these things do not augur well for business. Every now and then, local businesses, I heard you when you were reading about this food and beverage, there are problems with the flooding of all those, what's it called, foreign products into the system. All these things tend to create problems for the local industry. And they've always been complaining about cost build-up in terms of tariffs, in terms of energy, in terms of utilities. And so if they are looking at tax rationalization in terms of VAT, that is very good. And so I'm very sure that even if they are not able to take away the COVID levy now, maybe in the budget review, that problem will have been taken care of. I'm hoping they will be able to do that. But in addition to the VAT rationalization.
Right. Well, we had Samuel Okujoto Ablakwa speaking about that as well, saying that it was going to be catered for in the second budget to be presented to Parliament. So we hope to see where it goes. But my final set of questions to you. Now, a lot of some political parties, I should say, and some political analysts have said, you know what, amongst these 120-day contracts, the president has gone for low-hanging fruit in terms of implementation. And also, we've seen a lot of launching and opening of portals. However, the big question is looming. What is the implementation process with regards to the no academic fee stress policy? We've seen the launch of the Ejumara program. We've seen the launch of the apprenticeship program, the launch of the Mahama Cares Fund as well. There's so much launching, but the initiative and the implementation processes are what people are calling problematic. Should we be worried in terms of, in as much as he said he would do it and he's launched it, we should check it off the list, or we should check it off the list when it's been implemented?
Well, if you look at the schedule of the academic calendar, it has been distorted for so many years. Take, for example, Legon, the continuing students were there before the first year came. It's like universities are running off the track. In UCC, a similar thing was done. And continuing students vacated before the freshers also vacated. And the freshers are just having 3 weeks vacation and they are already back. So that in the second semester, we all run concurrently. Now, by the time that school reopens, they had not even ready a budget. And once there is a budgetary allocation of around 300 or 350 million Ghana cedis to that, then that has been catered for. Now, that being said, the problem is the implementation. The students have already paid their fees, the free academic fee payment has already been made. So what the government intends to do is that, of course, they wouldn't want to put money in the hands of the students. So when they are going to the second year, then they will be reimbursed. After all 4 check-ins have been done, they will be reimbursed in the form of the fee. And then those who will come to first year, the next budget will take care of that. You see, you cannot just project on annual basis, the number of people who enter the university. We have so many applications, but just a handful are taken. So it is always going to be difficult for we to suggest that government should pay before they do. No. Obviously, this thing, if we are going to implement it as a nation efficiently, then it means that the students will have to pay before they are reimbursed, because then the universities can send a budget of real human beings in real time, the payment, and they are reimbursed.
Great.
Now, those launchings that you made references to, for example, the Mahama Care, that is a very important initiative because non-communicable diseases in this country, they are the ascendancy to responsibility. So talk of the diabetes, the hypertension, the hypo and hyper, mention them, what's it called, the cancers and all those things. And so, if you have a president dedicating 6 months of his salary to fund this, and you are having others who are also contributing to that, the problem for me is the sustainability. But the initiative is worth considering, and I think that I've brought my heart out for such a selfless gesture from the president. Don't forget that this is the same president during his first term. He ensured that his ministers contributed 10% of their salary on a monthly basis to the building of 8 compounds throughout dotted throughout the country. So there is that kind of sacrifice on the part of the president, the vice president, and then all other agents of government. And so the Jumara, we will have to be monitoring the apprenticeship and all those things. I think that what the president said, which is much more crucial, is the fact that there is dedicated funding for that. And so along the line, if they start with the implementation, as journalists, you will have to monitor so that we may also have concrete information to deliver to the Ghanaians.
Great. Now, finally, before I let you leave, the president has barely 24 hours to the expiration of the 120-day contract. If he had an audience with the president, what would you tell him with regards to the 120-day contract?
I would say that I will score him, he's done well, I will score him between, as I said, B+ and A. Because if it is an A, then it means we must have a perfection. But that being said, as I said earlier on, he has done is not going for low-hanging fruits. Of course, there are other things that are standing, but some of these things come at a cost to the nation. And so they must factor in, certain things before they will be able to implement those things. And as they are coming to government, don't forget, they are still discovering so many other things. Who knew about, what is it called, Bedu or Edu?
Edu Boateng.
Edu Boateng.
Right.
Who knew about that scandal? I didn't know about that until they came into government. Right? And so you are now, it is something that has always been my refrain. It is only upon the test of the storm before you see it actually. And so government is still grappling with so many other issues from the previous government, and they will have to uncover a lot. And so if, as a nation, we are able to recover some of these lost assets, lost financial implications to the nation and so on and so forth, I think that will all help. And I think that what I will tell him is that he should not renege on the accountability call. That is one thing that put on one thing that was on my lips on a regular basis in terms of my political analysis. And that became part of the manifesto of the NDC, of which they are implementing better fora. They must not renege on that. Other than that, the Ghanaians will not forgive him.
Right. Thank you so much for joining us. Like you said, we'll keep our eyes keenly on not only the launching, but also the implementation and the sustainability, which is a big question, knowing Ghana's history in terms of sustainable efforts, in terms of policy. But thank you so much. We spoke with Dr. Jonathan Asante-Okyere. He is a political analyst and senior lecturer at the University of Cape Coast. Now, to you at home, the big question is, in your opinion, do you think that President John Dramani Mahama has been able to check a lot of things on the list of the 120-day contract. If you think so, what is your score of the president? You had Dr. Asante Oche scoring him not between an A and a C+. Well, what is your score of the president's 120-day contract, knowing it expires in a couple of hours, probably less than 24 hours. That's all for the morning news on the AM Club. My name is Augustine Adam Kobiti. For more news and updates, join us on mx24online.com or follow us on social media, mx24gh, and on mx24 News.
Augustine, thank you so much for coming in with very best of in the stories right here on the AM Club. I don't think you would want to ask me any scores.
But if you were to score
don't
him.
ask. Don't ask. Don't ask. That's just as fair. All right, then, so quick turn. We'll be right back for more right here on the show. We get into sports.
Visit www.mx24online.com for news, exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, up-to-the-minute sports updates, and the latest broken pen stories now. Experience more of MX24 Online. Visit mx24online.com today. MX24. Fun. Feel.
Good morning, welcome to Sports on the M Club. My name is Sedina Medman, and Sports on the M Club is brought to you kind of sketchy Betway. Betway is bringing you way more chances to win each and every time, and this time it's all about the bet influencer. Just log on to www.betway.com.gh this very minute, stake a bet and share the code with your friends, family and followers alike on social media. And anyone who stakes with your booking code, you get to earn 4% of whatever they wager. So the more people who stake with your booking code, the more cash you earn. Yes, so a lot of guys who stake with my booking code on Saturday and some 5 odds for themselves. We also made some 4% for ourselves. It is beautiful and it's exclusive only to betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions do always apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Yes, with Betway, you guarantee to always get way more and also bet the responsible way. Guys, good morning.
Good morning.
Fine.
Yeah. We day happen.
So try as much as possible to stick with my Twitter handle.
But you don't give us that.
No, now
you don't need to go on your Twitter.
Oh, okay.
You have to send it privately.
Right. So on Saturday, I was looking for who to send it to privately, and no names were coming to my head. It was a good Saturday, you know.
What do you call anime?
Anyways, let's continue and start off from the local front. And we want to wish the Black Starlets of Ghana all the best ahead of their encounter versus the current holders of the U20 AFCON, that is Senegal. Their game is at 6 p.m. Ghana time today, and that will be 9 p.m. local time in Egypt. In their first game, Ghana drew 1-1 versus the DR Congo. Now, into the local scene where Hatterfolk and Kumasi Asante Kotoko played a very, very scintillating stalemate game at the Accra Sports Stadium yesterday. The game, which lacked a lot of euphoria and hype, ended in 0-0 with the spoils being shared by both teams. Now, Kotoko leaves this particular stadium and this game still sitting fourth on the table. Now, first on the table, there has been a lot of shift there, and Nations FC has been able to climb top of the table this weekend. Accra Hearts of Oak still remain sixth on the table going into the last round of games, and we see where finally the Phobians will end, and also whether the Porcupine Warriors would get the opportunity to annex the GPL trophy. Let's cross boundaries and get into Europe, where Chelsea, they recorded a crucial victory against making it the first time in a lot of years since Chelsea are home to Liverpool. This is also the biggest defeat suffered so far by Arne Slot's side since he took over the reins at Anfield. And also it marks the second time in the history of the competition that Chelsea have beaten the champions immediately after they were crowned champions. The game ended 3-1 in favor of Chelsea. Again at the G-Tech Community Stadium, and were beaten by Brentford comfortably, ending 4-3 in that particular. Now let's cross the pond and get into the United States and do the semi-finals of the NBA playoffs, and this time it was between the Indiana Pacers and the Cleveland Cavaliers, the game one of the second round of the playoff series. However, Haliburton, he stole the show for the Pacers, and the game ended 1-1. 1-1-2 in favor of the Pacers.
Seed in the Eastern.
fact that the Cavs lost. Donovan Mitchell still broke Michael Jordan's record in the NBA playoffs with his 8th straight game where he eased off 30 points in a series opener. In other games also in the NBA playoffs, yes, Golden State Warriors, they said night-night to the Rockets, and they are through to the second round of the playoffs and will face off with the Timberwolves. It's going to be a feisty game, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. Now let's end on the courts inside Madrid as Sarina Sabalenka, I should say, yes, she decided there was time to do a three-peat of the Madrid Open. With regards to the WTA, she beat Coco Gauff in the particular final 6-3, 7-6 it ended. At 4 p.m. Yes, you should not miss out that specific one with regards to the Miami Grand Prix that happened over the weekend. That's that as far as that is concerned with regards to sports on the AM Club. My name is Edina Medman and we're held down by Betway. Betway is always bringing you way more chances to win. This time, it's all about the bet influencer. So you can go on and become the biggest bet influencer in town by just putting out your booking code and allowing others to enjoy the goodies from your booking code. So simply bet, share your booking codes on social media, on your WhatsApp status, with your friends, with your family, with your followers alike, and stand the opportunity of earning 4% of whatever they wager using your booking code. The more people who use your booking code, the more money you earn. Whether the bet wins or loses, you still earn 4%. So go out there, start staking and sharing your booking codes today. Remember, terms and conditions ultimately do apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. With Betway, you're guaranteed to always get way more. But bet responsibly. For now.
Thank you very much, Sedina Edmond.
That's not how I call
Catch up with all the fun, the breaking news stories, sports, and business insights on mx24online.com. It's now time for us to dive deep into the world of entertainment and showbiz right after this.
Visit www.mx24online.com for news, exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, up-to-the-minute sports updates, and the latest broken pen stories now. Experience more of MX24 Online. Visit mx24online.com today. MX24. Fun, fearless, and factual.
Well, it's time for entertainment and showbiz right here on the AM Club. My name is Miriam Uduak Mensah. We get right into it. President John Dramani Mahama has announced that he will walk the runway during Ghana Fashion Week in July 2025 to promote local fashion and support Ghana's creative arts industry. Mahama, a long-time advocate for Ghanaian-made fashion, revealed that much of his public wardrobe is designed and sewn locally. He expressed his enthusiasm for showcasing the work of Ghanaian designers, promising to change outfits 3 times and highlight the designers behind each piece during his catwalk appearance. This initiative is part of the National Democratic Congress effort to reposition Ghana's creative sector through the Black Stars Experience program. Now, away from that, Davido offers $5,000 to Ghanaian TikToker following viral song cover. Now, Ghanaian TikToker Ananzo Eugene Jr., known as a Washington Bay promoter, gained widespread attention for his comic rendition of Davido's new song, With You. Featuring Omale, Davido noticed the video and left a comment on Ananzo's Instagram post pledging $5,000 in appreciation. Now, the gesture has sparked excitement and praise on social media, with many commending Davido for recognizing and awarding Ananzo's creativity. Davido directed Ananzo to follow up with his team to receive the reward. Now, in other stories still in Nigeria, Free My Guy, Davido demands release of A Very Dark Man. Nigerian singer Davido has called for the release of online activist Very Dark Man, who was arrested by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, on Friday. Davido praised A Very Dark Man's positive impact on ordinary Nigerians and noted the outpouring of support he's received since his arrest, saying it encourages him to do more for the masses. Other notable figures, including singer Seun Kuti, has also spoken out about the arrest, with Seun hinting that Very Dark Man's criticism of the Nigerian church may be linked to his current predicament. The EFCC has yet to provide details on the arrest. Visit MX24 for more of these stories. But on this particular one, the very final one, Jay, last week, Very Dark Man, he spoke about the EFCC going after 2 men. And when he mentioned that, I said that this boy is in trouble. He mentioned that Obi Kubana is one of the men EFCC is going after. Because when the EFCC arrest people, they ask them, and this is supposed to be inside information, they ask the people they arrest that, listen, have you dealt with Obi Kubana before? Has he sent you money before? If he has sent you, what's the transaction like? And they keep asking them, which is making him think that the next person to arrest on EFCC's list is Obi Kubana, so he should watch his back. And I think that tip-off is not going to sit out with any security apparatus.
Why don't you do that silently?
I know, right?
Why don't you go to him and say, bro,
be careful.
Be careful. I mean, you don't necessarily need to put it on social media, do you?
Very Dark Man is overly bold about some of these things, and I fear for him. This would be like his 4th arrest. Yeah,
because I was about to ask, how many times are they going to arrest this guy?
Well, he doesn't look like his tools down or his weapons down anytime soon.
Anyway.
Well, that's it for entertainment right here on the AM Club. Make sure our website for more entertainment and for more news right here in Ghana and beyond.
Well, thank you very much for coming in with the very best of entertainment. Now, in today's dynamic business environment, a robust workforce is pivotal to achieving success. This is why we have thoughtfully designed our, corporate health insurance plans to empower your employees and bolster your organization's performance. So this is with Equity Health Insurance. Your investment transcends ordinary insurance. It represents a commitment to the future of your company. So our health plans are individually tailored to accommodate the unique needs of your employees. Okay? Now, it's quite simple. At Equity Health Insurance, we are dedicated to stand by your side throughout the entire journey. So kindly please feel free to reach us on, 0501-515124, so that we can further enhance the level of service we provide to you. Always here for you. Tell us so. Almost send the keke. Send the keke. Yes, with Telecel. And I love what is happening in town right now. You're just seeing Telecel everywhere. Even better, sending money from Telecel Cash to Telecel Cash is still free on the Telecel Play app, all right? So whether you're paying school fees or sending cash to a favorite person, all you have to do is just dial *110#, *110#, all right? Download the Telecel Play app and send it, keke. Okay. Yes, Mother's Day is coming in. Happy Mother's Day in advance to every single mother out there. Mimi, MX24 in collaboration. Yes, we are collaborating on Mother's Day. Of course, we're making sure that that happens, and it happens very, very well. We're surprised with Nuna and Emporium to surprise your special person. Celebrate the woman who means the world to you, Mama. Want to just show her how much you love her and appreciate her? Just simply send her name, okay? It's quite simple. Send her name and your heartfelt message to the WhatsApp number. That's 055-033-1511. Send it now, okay? Or you can slide into our DMs. That's MX24GH across all socials. And here's the best part. Dudum, 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 drum roll. We'll call your mom live on air and read the message to her live. Then, also, your mom gets a package. It's only for 5 lucky winners, all right? 5 lucky winners. Surprise with Nuna and Emporium, all right? Making sure that this happens. Emporium by Laura, I beg your pardon. Emporium by Laura. Let's give Mama the love she deserves this Mother's Day. Well, that's about it for Coffee Daily right here on the show. Now, time for us to get into the news review where we're discussing all the national political affairs, including that of the 120-day social contract. It's coming up next. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Visit www.mx24online.com for news, exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, up-to-the-minute sports updates, and the latest broken pen stories now. Experience more of MX24 Online. Visit mx24online.com today. MX24. Fun, fearless, and factual.
I wanted to become an engineer. Yeah, but alongside, I needed money to further my education. That was 2008. But there's no one to help. Mama nyopa nyingba visually. I'm okay. Ma try. Ma wo fertilizer. But maybe matapuga. Akoye squaji. I remember try la ma poba. Ma ho mo ba kwerenye. Tama tepuga la fuma. Akoye squaji. Tama wo squangu last time no. Kajiba because of mama poga la koye. Because koye tajo ma dagbe. I never magere.
Tivekana must grow, let's go.
I go to for you there for agricate them mapung get the lama because as from last year, a villa senior, Agbla, I could demele, Coco the Beauty Corner School. I feel I'm working in a dome.
I'll be working with Mr. Francis now close to a year now. Working with him because he's not harsh, he's okay, he's calm. So I don't find anything difficult or anything hard in working with him.
You personally got a blood there. I want to get a like grandma.
Nukuyo katamido na mopona gbo. Let me be mia adiado, mia have a sale, I'm upon a mokata gbo ajri. Agbala, let me dela miamova, Ikona gadam. Tana benefit ava miamova miga, blonny sam.
There are a lot of benefits, you understand? Yeah. I'm able to get money from the farm to pay my children's school fees.
The
guys who are working for me, I do pay them.
I get money to set up my bills. Then I got okra and pepper for soup items in the house.
And my salute to my mom is the farm. The Ghana Grow Initiative. And New Year, Konya, Premier Gradalawanchi, Vegeto Soho Kene, the Jimbo Yogada Blama, Eke Afimu, a law cause who are good at the combo. I'll make a Jibbo Yogada Glad at the Muflaya. Suka Kumata now feel like whenever I glad at the Anya when you are there. I came mania, I'm a Kuviato for the a galema. Manufacturing Bana Logan finna start to maybe upper backyard garden. I started small, and after do the Holland greeted to one now sidolo sivovo, and not do sit maybe alpha the kakura. But to make an aqua, but then will be Gaika General attack when you can be out. Maybe I'm going to school down crown water. I wouldn't have come. At the end of the day, what I cook for school fees laugh my way.
The Kumajiba Madong, Mr. Francis Saros Ranye, but a doika goma media, roagble the daika Magaharamabo, Naiji, Miawi.
I believe the new year, no Alamarashi, Romia Mukudoma, Miapo Viragacho, a bo.
I pray the Lord should give him the strength to carry on with his farm work and for him also to benefit more for me so that he can be able to assist people that need things.
The Makuru Kunya left for Tomabella Nipa Glana Lula Mataho, Yuto, Dovio, Aleva the child I grown could be a child commuter Miata, as she will especially by Yavutuko, Amoko Hiani. Ematawe Koha Atawe, and going Francis Kojo Boabasa, Agradela Mania, Ghana grows hope day.
Ghana grows. Hope day.
Introducing Betway's Bet Influencer, a groundbreaking feature where you can make money by just sharing codes. He just needs to share his codes and make money. The more his codes are used, the more money he makes. Oh yes, so what are you waiting for? Anyone can be a bet influencer. Share your codes and make money. Bet Influencer. Another first from Betway.
This advert has been approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more.
This is a call to you. The dreamers. The ones that see no boundaries.
Dreamers take a chance.
The explorers that chart their own path.
Unlock the vibes, connect the energy.
The ones that dare to challenge the status quo.
Get connected, feel the vibe.
When others try to think outside the box, you wonder, what box?
Catch the wave, enjoy the ride.
To the architecture. Every connection is an opportunity to explore every experience. This is your call to adventure. Your journey begins here. Be bold, be daring, be free. Connecting passions, connecting dreams, connecting ambitions. Tell us how. Connecting energies.
Michael has been exceptional, surpassed all his targets. Let's hear from this year's Staff of the Year.
This wouldn't be possible without a strong relationship. You've been with me through university. All those days of studying together just to ace those tests, which we did, by the way. And those days of the side hustles. You were there. All of these have prepared me for this moment. Cowbell Coffee has been there with me every single step of the way.
For the big days and the seemingly ordinary, creamy Cowbell Coffee is with you every moment.
This advert is FDA approved.
Well, it would amaze you that the conversation has already started. We could have just zoomed right into it. But thank you so much for being a part of the show. You're welcome back to the AM Club right here on MX24. Earlier, my colleague, Jay Kojo told us about the amazing thing we're doing for Mother's Day. And I already see comments coming in from people. People are already nominating their mothers. So please do yours as fast as you can. This one's name is Vida Amponsa. In fact, Mama C. And, okay, so she shares her contact number. She said, we thank God for the blessing of a mother like you, a great pillar that many depend on. We appreciate your care, provision, and support. May the good Lord protect and keep you safe for us. May he continue to bless you with strength and abundant joy. You are deeply loved and cherished, Mom. With all love and appreciation, we say Happy Mother's Day in advance, Mama C. And this is coming from Anita and Chantel. Okay, so I like what we're already doing, which means that we're going to have another big celebration for Mother's Day. How cool is that? Well, another one says, hello, I saw your advert for Mother's Day and I want to say, okay, well, so Louis, we're going to reach out to you and let you know how you could nominate your mother for this amazing surprise. This one says that, this is Nana. I wanted to send a message to my mom on Mother's Day. She is Mrs. Agatha Asamoah. Thank you so much, Nana. Nana, we are going to reach out to you and let you know how you can be a part of this amazing surprise for Mommy. Okay? Well, your health is your greatest asset, and planning for future medical needs is essential. The Equity Future Health Plan is a long-term health savings and insurance solution designed to provide financial security for your future medical expenses with flexible contribution options. Now, this plan ensures that you or your loved ones are covered in times of need. Whether it's a routine checkup, a specialized treatment, or emergency care, you can enjoy peace of mind knowing that your healthcare is secured. By subscribing to the Future Health Plan, you gain a structured health savings fund, access to top-tier medical care, financial protection against unforeseen health expenses. Starting today, I need you to enroll yourself on this one. Call us on 050-6607-910 or 059-969010 to enroll today. Equity Health Insurance, we say always here for you. Now, with Jibu Water, staying refreshed has never been easier. Jibu Water provides clean, healthy water you can trust. Now, to grab yours today, which is our innovative 20-liter bottles that come with a tap and 18.9-liter bottles, your dispensers will have a breath of new life as our clean water flows through them. So, to get yours today, call us on 09845-817, that's 020-9845-817, or visit our website at www.jibuco.com/GH for more information about our brand. Jibu Water, we say a better life. We're getting into our news review segment. I told you the conversation already started. If I didn't stop them, they would have just started the show without any intro, I'm telling you. But Reginald Acheisu Boateng, Deputy Director of Campaigns and Advocacy, NDC Youth Wing. Good morning.
Hi, Mimi. Good morning.
Hey, Nade.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Busy? Ready for the conversation?
Busy, happy.
Hey, wow. Yeah, Ibrahim Gomna, NPP Communications Team Member. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Yeah.
We started our conversation earlier, and I was telling you something about how worried I am about your party.
Yes.
And you said I shouldn't worry.
Yeah, don't worry.
Menda.
Yeah.
Hey, are you sure?
I told you that it's amazing how our party is gaining the trust of Ghanaians in a very fast space, and that's commendable.
Yeah.
I single out Honorable Alexander Afenyo-Markins for holding on the Parliament of Ghana with the mighty 88. And that's amazing.
Okay.
And,
all right. Well, let's get into our conversations for today. Well, there is a demonstration ongoing right now against the suspension of the Chief Justice. And this is not only by the NPP. I think 3 other political parties that have joined in to support the fight against the suspension of the Chief Justice. I'm going to start with you, Mr. Acheisu. I want you to start speaking on that with regards to the fact that, listen, we already spoke about it last week, talking about we allowing you know, the law, the constitution of Ghana to take its course. President has spoken. He has constituted a committee to overlook how this will go. And if any wrongdoings are found on the CJ, you know, of course, that means that she gets to go. And if nothing is found on her, she comes back to take her seat, which is supposed to be what, you know, the case should be. But then all these demonstrations coming up makes it look as though, you know, there's some level of contention and people are not happy about it. So what do you think?
All right, so Mimi, a very big good morning to yourself, to your crew, and to all our viewers and listeners nationwide. And like I always say, we have a president that is so committed to the rule of law.
Right.
Committed to the Constitution under which he swore an oath. And this president has demonstrated it so many times and under so many circumstances. And this is just one of them. And like you clearly stated, this is a procedure that is enshrined in the Constitution. And it is dutifully being followed. I do not see where the contestation is coming from. But of course, I understand this is a very serious matter. This involves a very serious arm of government, the judiciary, and the leader of the judiciary. And so it should gain the traction and all of that. But it is right for us to also go back into history and see what has happened. You know, this is not the first time a petition is being submitted against the Chief Justice. In fact, in Mohammed's first term, a number of petitions were submitted to him against the former Chief Justice, Georgina Wood. And Georgina Wood was a NPP. Yes. Then Atamos came, used the same Chief Justice, because of course the Chief Justice is not like your regular MP or the regular CEO that you just come and change. Atamos worked with Ms. Georgina Wood, highly revered, very respected. Mahama came and also worked with her. Even when petitions were submitted against her, Mahama, upon seeing the petition, sending it to Council of State, realized that there was no prima facie being established. That, okay, we trust these petitions. This is not any different. But the only unfortunate situation about this is that the petitions that have been submitted, after being submitted to the Council of State, they established some prima facie. We decided that they want to carry on with the provisions under of our Constitution. And this is clearly what is happening now. Yeah, we saw a number of political parties that said they've joined, but we also saw some of them that came out to say the NPP wrongfully published their names that they are part of the demonstration. They are not part of the demonstration, and they are not part of the demonstration. Also come out to say they are not part of the demonstration. So clearly, this is a movement by the opposition NPP to make it look like there's a problem in Ghana when there's no problem. And again, what I feel is that they are trying to improve on their relevance in Ghana. Because if you've realized, over the last 5 months, the NPP, if you want to challenge, if election is held today, the NPP will go down more than the 39 or 38% they got in the last election. You get what I mean? Just giving wrong figures.
It's 41. No. Today we don't have time for this. Let him land so you can have your time.
They will do worse. So I think this is one of the ways they want to do to improve on their relevance. But again, you have a very tolerant leader. In the last 4 years, 8 years, did you do a demonstration without fight? Did you ever hear of a demonstration without court cases, injunction on whether the demonstration will be able to go there? You heard so many of them, right? But you have a tolerant president that believes in the rule of law, that says that demonstrations are part of a democratic system. And so if people want to rant, people want to express their grievances through demonstrations, it is just right that you create the conducive and safe environment for them. And so you have our brothers demonstrating from the Supreme Court to the Jubilee House. Mimi, this never happened over the last 8 years. And so for me, what I see is these people are more making His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the NDC more popular by saying that for the last 8 years, we couldn't even think of going to the Jubilee House. And that was supposed to be the Jubilee House, but never did. Even for some, the route to take. It's Arise Ghana demonstration. We're supposed to even use from Obra Sport. We couldn't even use the route towards Sankara. We couldn't even use the route towards Sankara. Tear gases. I suffered some of the tear gas. You know, but our brothers are able to say they want to go on a demonstration to demonstrate against a constitutional process that is being initiated.
Are we going to see the president come out and receive the petition himself?
You have seen a workaholic president for the first time.
So who's going to receive it on his behalf?
I mean, there are so many people that can receive the petition. For the petition definitely to be Definitely to be considered.
All right.
But definitely this is a total waste of time. Monday morning, when people are supposed to be working to be earning.
Well, you can't say that. They deem it important. They deem it important.
Anyways,
so once they are, like you rightly said, it's their constitutional right.
Right.
And so they can be
They should actually demonstrate. It tests that democracy. And I love that for them.
If they are not comfortable, I'm going to allow you to speak on that as well. Demonstration against the removal of the CJ. In fact, it's currently a suspension, isn't it?
Yeah, she's been suspended. Yeah, she has to be.
Okay, Miriam, thank you very much for the opportunity. As he rightly stated, judiciary is, let me say, our last resort when it comes to electoral disputes and electoral petitions in this country. Ghana has seized and exploited almost all the constitutional provisions as far as elections disputes are concerned, including filing 2 popular electoral petitions at the presidential level with the judiciary in 2012-2013, and then 2020-2021. And the Supreme Court stood on ground to resolve these issues. Today, the New Patriotic Party and some political parties, I really don't care who political parties join. Let it be on record that the New Patriotic Party is not demonstrating against or in favor of an individual who is a Chief Justice. The New Patriotic Party and all the political parties out there are demonstrating to save, protect the integrity of our judiciary, which has been bastardized, insulted, labeled, and attacked by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and his political party, NDC.
How was that?
Since 2021. Their attack to the judiciary became intense after they lost their ill-prepared petition against the 2020 electoral result. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the NDC labeled our judiciary or the Supreme Court as a unanimous FC, just because they lost a case that did not contain a single merit, that deserved even one particular judge to rule in their favor. They went ahead to label and attack our last resort when it comes to electoral disputes in the country. They branded our judiciary and made it look like it's evil. Meanwhile, we have been in these situations before. In 2012, when His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo lost the petition, with even 4 judges out of 9 judges voting in his favor, he read the famous speech accepting that while he disagreed with the ruling, he accepted. As a human rights lawyer as he is, as a respecter of our judiciary, and as a client of our judiciary, he rallied the NPP that, look, let's be measured in our utterances as far as the ruling of the court is concerned. And we have, as NPP, always maintained and respected the integrity of the judiciary. The NDC, on the other hand, went to court, which the national chairman revealed during their internal contest that he wasn't even in favor of they going to court because they don't have evidence. They went to Chachu and Chachu threw them away their first day. And they went back to... No, don't interrupt. Don't interrupt.
No, please, don't do that.
When Chachu threw them away, they went back and then they went to and lost the case. Ranging from 2021, when they labeled the Supreme Court, President Mahama began announcing that they would appoint NDC lawyers to start preparing themselves so that when they come to power, they would appoint them to the
When
panel.
did he say this?
Oh, he said it's on.
I have never seen it. So
okay, I'll get that. I mean, and he is even aware. President Mahama was categorical that it was NDC lawyers conference. I'll get the date. It was an NDC lawyers conference that he announced it. That NDC lawyers to start preparing. When they come to power, they would send them to the judiciary or the Supreme Court as members of the panel. 7 members, judges have been appointed and all of that. Mustafa Gbandi of the NDC was that the removal of the Chief Justice is very necessary. They will remove him. Felix Ofosu-Kwakye has been very categorical that the Supreme Court has always not been fair to them in their days in opposition. And for that matter, they were not impressed with the judiciary. There are a lot of commentaries from NDC, from President John Dramani Mahama to the lowest person in the NDC. Their spirited attack on the judiciary, their spirited attack on the Chief Justice, and their spirited attack on the Supreme Court has been glaring, evidence enough. And as he said, petition was sent to Jerry John Rawlings in his presidency to remove the Chief Justice, and he did not take action. President Kufuor received petitions. President Mills received petitions. President Mahama I received petitions. President Akufo-Addo received petitions against the Chief Justices. Look, the Chief Justice position is not a funny position. It is not supposed to be reduced to electoral circle and irregular change of power. But when you look at the spirited position the NDC took from 2021 up to now, it was clear that they want to make sure they oust this woman out. And their commentaries, their utterances necessitated where we are today. When they condemned President Akufo-Addo's appointment of judge the Supreme Court, that he was packing it with his party people, which of course they were legitimately people who are either promoted or people who are retired, and he replaces. Today, nobody is being promoted or nobody is being retired. President Mahama has appointed 7-member justices to go and occupy the Supreme Court. We can now conclude and agree that these 7 people are NDC people. And the record being put in place is that when we come back to power, all these people will be removed so that we also replace them with NPP judges, because that is the precedent. But you know what? We do not want to move beyond that limit. When the Chief Justice, as they are doing, is finally removed as they have plotted, we can assure is that when we come to power, we will remove their Chief Justice and bring another. Miriam, where we'll be going with our democracy, when we reduce our judiciary to, which now becomes autonomous to that of the ruling of a particular party's tenure, which of course that shouldn't be the case. So today, we are marching on the streets of Accra, sending a signal to the president that their political plot and the political orchestration to get the Chief Justice removed should not be the case. And suspending the Chief Justice on grounds of these frivolous petitions, one stating that she had been traveling with her husband or her spouse, and which is whatever.
Has that accusation
been solidified? Within her constitutional provisions, her emoluments.
But you know that's not right.
That is right. That is
that's not right.
No.
You know,
why is it not right?
It was as those contributions were assigned.
Why is it not right?
Again, if you are asked that you're supposed to spend 20 Ghana cedis on only you, and you include your family,
why is it not right? Is the constitution saying it's not right? Are you talking about ethics or legality? Tell him, ask him to mention which part of the constitution that says that it's not right. Okay? Even if that is the grounds that she has exploited resources in that regard. Look, the sensitivity of that particular position is such that the president, they could just summon her to say, hey, you spent over this, recoup it to the state. Is that not it? The extent of suspending her, the extent of orchestrating to get her removed is dangerous for our democracy.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
And the NPP want to save the democracy.
Okay.
And
between you and I, we have seen demonstrations in this country yield results.
Yes.
And so we believe that, again, our sitting president believes in the rule of law.
That's our prayer.
And hopefully, the petition makes...
Several voices have spoken.
Makes constitutional sense. Because, again, this is not about the NDC or the NPP. Makes constitutional sense. And we're able to move past this without having to worry too much about what our judiciary look like. Moving away from that, therefore, regarding
that he responds. No. Have to respond.
No. I'm yet to hear what he has to say.
Some point of correction when he says the 7 members are appointed by Mahama and NDC faithfuls.
I'm saying that in reference to his words that the NDC lawyers prepared the panel when he was.
Do you agree?
We can conclude. No, he knows it's a fact.
Listen.
No, let me just put.
These are
not people are done. Let's hear him.
Lawyers that have been appointed to the Supreme Court. These are few judges. About 15 years. Some of them have been in the Court of Appeal from 2010.
Okay.
And have been appointed after 15 years into the Supreme Court, and are saying they are NDC faithfuls.
And by the way, in fact,
there's one of them that was appointed in 2022 by Akufo-Addo. Is he also NDC?
Okay.
My
All
goodness.
Right. All right, so that clarified. We're going to move on to the 120-day social contract. What is left to be done? Because as when we get to how do I say, by tomorrow, that social contract should be done. However, there are still a couple of things that hasn't been touched on. One being, this morning, my colleague did a comprehensive look at what we have left yet to be done, and we have the established a robust code of conduct and standards for all government officials. That has we here today. We're going to be looking at this. Scrap COVID levy, one levy that everybody has been, very loud about. That, I mean, COVID-19 is over. So many developed countries have moved past a COVID-19 levy. Why are we still? But again, some other levies and taxes have been removed, but we still have that sitting now pretty. Now, comments drafting legal amendments and prepare for implementing the 24-hour economy policy at the office of the president. Yeah, that is yet to be done.
You think so? Okay.
I think so.
Right, thank you.
Publicly, we don't know.
Publicly, you don't know. That's true.
So, the party you... I would love that. Yes, within the first 90 days, levies on vehicles and equipment imported to the country for industrial and agricultural purposes. We're going to take up this first four. I'll have you guys speak on it. We still are waiting for these to be implemented. However, again, like a fiscal contract signed, so that by tomorrow, when some of these are not done, we can actually now hold him as, there is a breach of contracts. Where do we go from here? But then again, we're hoping that Ghanaians will give the sitting government to implement the rest of, the promises under the 120-day social contract. But I'm going to have you speak on some of which we probably don't know are being implemented yet.
All right, thank you very much, Mimi. And I'm very excited about this because I think that His Excellency John Dramani Mahame's second coming, his first 120 days achievements have been unprecedented in the history of our country.
Okay.
So before I even go on to talk about the things that you have on your screen, that I just want to run down that have been achieved.
Oh, we know what has been achieved.
Oh, you don't? I think I need to be able to.
I gave you. I told you
list
that.
the number of them that I think have been achieved.
Wait. I'm telling you this.
Yes.
That this morning, my colleague did a very fantastic job in throwing the spotlight on all the wonderful work that Dramani Mahama has done. What we are here to do is to touch on the ones that have been, because again, it's making him. So Ghanaians have started talking. Again, your opposition will definitely speak on these and say that, listen, he said 120 days. Then the guy is a liar.
Is this the only ones that you have that have not been?
We have. Please give me the second slide, please, of the rest.
There are so many that have.
I think it's just left with three or so.
And
yes,
even the so-called
three actually.
It's just
please hold on. This one, established an accelerated export development council to promote exports as part of a broader strategy for economic transformation. Institute a government policy banning political appointees from purchasing stakes.
Perfect.
Lay before Parliament a new bill to streamline government's administration, prohibits politics. In our what's it called, government scholarships and what have you. This is part of, so far 7, I believe. 7.
Yes, 7.
Do we have any other?
7 of them, yes.
Okay.
7 out of the 25 social constructs by His Excellency John Dramani for his first 120 days is what we have projected.
Yes, please.
So what it means is that 18 of them have been done and dusted, right?
Has been commissioned, has been outdoored, but implementation.
Okay, Mimi, then we can also say that these things have not been commissioned, but its implementation is in process. But I just want to speak on them, right? So take me back to the first 4.
Please, the first 4.
And when we are talking about the 18 social contracts that have been commissioned or that have been started, that have been initiated, it's not easy.
Okay.
You get what I mean? So I want to even run you through some of them while I talk about some of the things. And when we talk about the establishment of a robust code of conduct and standards for all government officials, like I said, today it is being laid, it is going to be discussed with government officials. So that is going to be crossed out. Scrapping of e-levy. I sat here to talk about e-levy when we were talking about the scrapping of the Beton tax and also scrapping of the e-levy and emission, all of those. I mentioned that the Minister of Foreign mentioned that COVID levy is going to be featured in the next budget. Okay. And so it is definitely a work in progress.
But it's not.
The third one, commence drafting needed legal amendment and prepare for implementing of the 24-hour economy policy under the Office of the President has actually started. Of course, I agree with you that it has not started within the public. It is not known.
Yes.
But Honorable Tando is the one handling this, and he has an office working tirelessly day and night with the team to ensure that this document is going to be very robust. It is going to be a document that can be by various agencies and by various organizations and companies, and so it is a huge work that is doing. Once it's a works of it, but I'm here to that it has definitely started. And they also say that within the first 90 days in office, review tax and levies and equipment. Most of the things that have not been highlighted here has not been achieved yet. Things that are supposed to go through Parliament. And so when Parliament comes, things are going to be late. The first session was filled with so many things, and so Parliament was overburdened. And that is why some of these things have taken time, and it will be going to Parliament very soon. But we've seen a Jumeirah being launched. Over 20,000 annual job support for young people. We've seen a national apprenticeship program being launched.
And people are saying that was rushed.
How was it rushed? I am telling you that National Apprenticeship Program, if you listen to the National Youth Authority CEO, Honorable Osman Ayariga, detailing the plans for the National Apprenticeship Program, I do not see why you think it is being rushed. Young people are going to be trained. Some of the masters, the masters have already been secured, and have been over 300 million. Ghana. How is it? How is a Jumeirah being rushed? We've seen the Mahama Care initiative that has been launched to cater for serious and chronic ailments like cancer and diabetes. So how is that being rushed? We've seen Mahama promise that he's going to appoint the leanest government. How is that being rushed? Haven't we seen that? He promised that within 14 days he's going to appoint his cabinet ministers. Hasn't that been done? He promised free sanitary pads. Haven't that been done?
With how is implementation going to be like?
Oh, how is implementation? Most of the things, implementation is going to be decentralized. It's not going to be centered in Accra. So if you realize, National Apprenticeship Program was launched somewhere in Tamale. Jumeirah was launched somewhere in Kumasi. We are decentralizing the opportunities for young people, for business people, for mothers, for girls to be able to benefit from all of these things. He promised no fee stress. The portal has been opened. He promised free tertiary education for persons living with disability. The promise has been fulfilled. He's going to have the launch of the experience, something I'm so excited about. It's been implemented. I heard you this morning talk about how the president is promising to walk on the runway during the Ghana Fashion Week. So sweet. Do you know what that means? That means that so many people are going to be interested in the Ghana Fashion Week. And I've seen people talk about it. You know, that has been delivered. He promised to scrap the obnoxious taxes. He has done that. The e-levy, the betting tax. Young boys are happy. People are investing and are confident, you know. So I have no iota of doubt that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is going to implement all of this. And I started by saying that his achievement within the first 120 days is unprecedented. Mimi, I can take you down memory lane so we go through what Akufo-Addo achieved in his first 120 days. He appointed his cabinet. He launched the plans for food and job. They began the framework for free senior high school, started the process for establishing one district, one factory, initiated steps to fulfill campaign promises. He made diplomatic visits. He set up economic teams. That is, you remember, the economic management team, or SAFO-MAFO, a popular statement. He began reconstructing government agencies and departments, and he presented the first State of the Nation address. That is what he was able to achieve within his first 120 days. But you have a president that has achieved so much. Busy, big, brilliant jobs. And what Mama is doing with even the Sahel states is something that needs so much compliment. Because he's doing so well within the sub-region. And yet still, he has a very robust team that is also making sure that his plans, his policies are being implemented.
So we shouldn't faint at all with the rest
what
of
I'm
his
saying is that this is going to be achieved. But give time some time. And some of them, it's a work in progress. You know, issue government policy banning political appointees from purchasing state assets is supposed to go through Parliament. When Parliament comes back, it's going to be laid. Lay before Parliament a new bill to streamline Parliament's recess. When Parliament comes out, this is COVID-19. When Parliament comes back, next budget is going to be featured. So I am very happy. We are seriously on course.
But my brother, your thought on the rest, because now we agree that it's out of the 26, I believe, or 25.
Yeah, 18 have been achieved so far.
Yeah. So yeah, okay, great.
Serious.
So we're looking at the 7 to be achieved, but so far, how impressed are you? I chose how impressed are you because I wanted to know whether or not you're
He promised to pay assembly members. Now they are filling portals to be paid. Like
in SHS, when I think the grading system was from A to F, right?
Yes.
Is it F9 or something like that?
Is it F9?
F9.
I mean, so I don't know.
Those who got there know it.
I don't believe. I don't mind you.
No, but
you're so unbelievable. Please go ahead and
when we were in secondary school, I think after WASI, if you complete the SHS and you get all maybe CB, and you have English language, E8 or F9, you will not have access to Lego.
Okay.
Am I lying?
Me, I don't know. I never wanted Lego, so I have no.
I mean, those who got it, those who got the, they know.
I don't mind you. Please make your points. I don't know where you are going with
President
this.
Mahama.
Yeah.
No, when President, he just referenced President Akufo-Addo's tenure. When President Akufo-Addo had the opportunity to lead this country, he first of all tackled the bone of the nation. That's what had made Ghanaians cried and lamented for several years was the perennial dumso.
Okay.
Dum. He worked on Dumso.
Mimi, for the records, and because we are on camera,
he would say
Nanado didn't do anything.
You stop interjecting.
Within his first.
I need you to make your point, please.
Can you please stop interjecting?
No, but I'm going to.
Please, can you stop interjecting?
Mr. Acheisu.
Hello.
Reginald, I'm going to have you speak on it
I will not feel lies when I come here.
Please.
Because if I don't know, I'll keep quiet. So if he doesn't know, he should keep quiet.
Please. He's not keeping quiet. Let's him make his point. Let's him make his point.
Hello. When you're speaking, I'm
sorry.
Me to speak. Let me put it on record. President Nana Akufo-Addo solved the issue of Dumso in 2017 and kept our light on for 8 good years. That's the bone of everything. That's the heart of our nation. President Mahama's second coming is met with the most, I don't know how to put it. The Dumso is alarming. And I have been constantly calling on John Jinapor to just step aside and go and find a place. He should come and join me, let's farm rice. He's not serious on the job. Put that one aside. The second thing, you see, when they came to power in their second term, this term they have just come, they had promised that they're going to repeal or amend the LI that allowed people to stay in the forest to mine.
Yes.
I don't call it galamsey. I call it environmental terrorism.
Okay.
The terrorism, when they came to power, do you know what they rather did? They went and set a galamsey board, which they framed everything quickly, passed it through parliament. The same parliament, he says it's on recess, so they pass it and now go board or whatever board is already in existence. But the LI that just needed 2 weeks to be done, they say it's still under consideration. You see how these people are not serious about managing this country. Say it's on the rise. The water, that was like cowbell coffee. Today it's thick like milk. The galamsey menace. No? According to Erastus Asarodoko, because that's now the biggest reference point when it comes to talking about galamsey and environmental terrorism. In fact, yesterday, National he's categorical. He's not even saying alleged. They went and seized the whole legal underground mining pit, and it is occupied by these national security people in Ashanti region. Let me just pull it out for the records.
What you make?
They took over a mining pit, and mining like by national security people mining inside, and. I just saw the Ashanti Regional Minister, so this was what he said. He said, why would the National take over a licensed organized underground small-scale mining, drive away the workers and ask people with pump-action guns to mine the facility? Ashanti Regional Security Liaison, Captain Retired Mohammed Jaberi, tells me he was asked by his bosses in Accra to secure the mine.
Alleged.
Oh, I'm reading from Erasto's speech, so there's no alleged about here. Oh, I'm reading from his speech.
But Erasto's, but you cannot.
I'm just reading verbatim what he put out.
Okay,
Plus, there's something. The regional has just posted. When I was coming, he posted just 20 minutes or 5 minutes before I entered here that it is now being investigated by the same national security that Erastus has alleged that they have taken. Put that one aside. Let's not even do that. Saying that Galamsey is on the rise. Forests that were not touched, now excavators are there mining. And then you know what? The biggest initiative by the land minister to fight Galamsey is to train blue water gas and yellow water gas to fight Galamsey. Funny, isn't it funny?
What is funny is that I'm giving you something to talk about and you are going out of it. So when your time is up,
that's the 120 days record.
Yes.
In fact,
so for you, Galamsey is part of
in the last days, cocaine has become part of Ghana's name. Ufaha cocaine. If pass your cocaine. Like the cocaine issue, the busted cocaine supplement, nobody has been arrested. Not even the landlord of the house that they found the cocaine has been arrested. The busted cocaine in Takrady, not even the house they found the cocaine has been arrested. The landlord. Cape Coast, the same thing. Wherever cocaine.
So what are you trying to say?
You see, the government has become, now the government is allegedly called cocaine are buying.
So in my opinion, is this not a good thing to be busting the people if at the time we're not identified?
Who has been arrested?
Oh, they have been.
Who has been arrested?
Oh, I don't.
No, you're interrupting. Let me finish. When is my time? It's not. Are you the one to time me?
No.
Usually I'm the one who does the time. With all due respect, you will not time me.
Okay.
I'm saying that.
My producer says your time is up, but we're going to go for it.
In terms of security, you know, I mean. 120 days social
my team was so. When we return, the conversation continues right here on the AM Club. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Ricky. I'm a TV host and a self-styled chef. Cooking is my ultimate passion and it's something I say it's my calling. Now, for those who cook a lot like me, there's one fact they'll always state. Ingredients decide how tasty your food is. And for me, game-changing ingredients is water. Tap water at the moment is not the best option considering what's going on in the country. Also, such as water can taste weird and produce too much waste, so it's a no-no for me. My number one choice for cooking is Jibu water. Cooking with Jibu water enhances the flavor of your food. And it's not just that. Unlike other brands where you have to pour it from a heavy bottle, the 20-liter dispenser bottle comes with a tap that makes things so easy. So you see how simple it is with Jibu? Cooking with Jibu gives you big flavors and great taste without all the stress. Remember to cook with Jibu.
Jibu, transforming opportunity to thrive.
Welcome to Deluxe Experience Ghana, your trusted partner. It's an unforgettable event. From breathtaking stage designs to dazzling lighting solutions, we bring your vision to life with precision and creativity. Our expert event plan and consultation services ensure every detail is taken care of so you can enjoy a stress-free experience. Capture every moment with our professional photography, videography, and live streaming services because every memory deserves to be cherished. Transform your event venues into a masterpiece with our exquisite interior lighting and permanent designs tailored to suit your style and theme. At Deluxe Experience Ghana, we don't just plan events, we create experiences. Events extraordinary. Deluxe Experience Ghana. Think events, think deluxe. Contact us today on 026837006 or 0545038620 and 0545037520. Deluxe Experience Ghana. Think events, think deluxe.
You're welcome back to the. You can hear the noise. You're welcome back to the. Gentlemen, be gentlemen on the show. You're welcome back to the AM Club right here on MX24. It's our news review segment. We're looking at the 120 days in government. In fact, the 120 days social contract. People. We also have looked at some of the things that he has done and not implemented, and so we're looking at implementations. Mr. Acheisu has told us this morning that some of it will take time, so we should give time. You're also speaking on some of the things that are not going well, in your opinion, which makes...
It's not my opinion. It is what Ghanaians are complaining about. In fact, I promised to reduce the cost of living, and our cost of living is rising.
Is it?
Yes. Tell me what has
He
reduced.
asked a question which I would like to ask. I'm sorry. I'll have to throw his words. Yeah. What are the metrics in measuring these assertions that you're making?
In terms of...
So, for instance, you're saying a cost of living is... I don't
need any structured measure. What I need to know is that, what do you call it? One crate of egg was around 45 cities. Today is almost 80 cities. So that's a problem metric.
Meaning, you do not give people the opportunity to be on your station, to be spewing light for our
Quite honestly, I don't know the price of egg right now.
You can confirm. I know.
Confirm what is it?
No, confirm and let me. These people, they are fond of calling people liars without even confirming. No, but kindly do your checks and tell me, young man, this is the actual price.
I buy eggs too. I buy eggs
how much do you buy?
I bought 4 yesterday, but that was for 5 cities.
No, how much is a crate of egg today?
2 was for 5 cities. 2 for 5 cities.
How much is a crate of egg?
In January 2025, by 6th January, egg at Domain Market was 60 cities. Today, if you go to egg at Domain Market, there's still 60 cities. There's big
when last did you buy 1 crate of egg?
I bought 1 crate of egg last week. I went to Domain Market. I have a special
to buy 1 crate of egg.
To buy 1 crate of 60 cities and 65 cities.
If in November egg was 40 cities, and today it's 60 cities.
It was never 40 cities. It was never 40 cities.
It was how much?
It was never.
How much did you buy in November?
Oh
no, you don't just call somebody like that would have given
2025.
So I gave you the opportunity to give me
in parts of Accra, in some parts of Accra.
So for you, it's not working at all.
It's not.
The 120 days was not even with the things that have been
a component of his budget. No, listen, let me tell you.
Now he talks about.
You're going to wrap up in a minute.
I'm saying that not even a component of his budget statement and economic policy of this country has a single indication of cost reduction. Cost reduction.
What?
No.
Not even one.
Let him land.
Look, the key thing Ghanaians want to see is their cost of living. Look, it is agreeable that in the past few years, our cost of living has bamboozled to the extent. You promised to reduce the cost of living. You have not.
And you were expecting that in 4 months?
No. 4 months is even too much.
Okay, all right, great.
Your budget is out.
Okay.
And we are cutting this, we are cutting that, we are reducing fuel prices. That's not cost of living.
What causes the cost of living? Prices, right?
Okay.
Am I telling
fuel price?
Fuel prices have been reduced 5 solid times.
What about transport? What about transport?
I thought you said I shouldn't interject. But I mean, I think you should have this data. You asked him for his metrics. He couldn't give you a metrics in measuring some of these things. You say Galamsey is on the rise, but I couldn't even tell what you mean by Galamsey is a rise.
I gave you references.
I can tell you that before the NDC handed over to the NPP government, mining licenses at the time that had been issued was less than 50. You come and increase the number to overwhelming 2,000. And you tell me that over the last few months, when His Excellency John Dramani Mahama that he was going to go after the kingpins of Galamsey, and he has started by going after Akonta mining, and you are telling me that nothing is being done, but it is getting worse. When we have seen so many times the number of places that have been visited and arrested, burnt down, when we have seen how many excavators have been seized that are being used to distill gutters now, when we have seen fuel prices being reduced over 5 times this year alone, have you ever achieved that in your entire history as a political party before? We have seen that assembly members now can also think of working hard, because His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the Minister of Local Government and Chieftaincy, is going to be in assembly members once again. So MMDCs will now see their common fund coming in again. This is an achievement. This is what the government should be doing. And you sit here and tell me that price of food...
topic. We have YEA and Zoom Lion, and then also I would like us to touch on this on the latter part. In fact, your last submission, A+'s comment against Dr. Ayine. We've seen that there has been an update to him. That is why I want us to do that last. But YEA Zoom Lion have responded to the allegations against the police. On it quickly before we move on. Please go ahead. Yes.
So the YEA Zoom Lion contract, is that not it? You see, I want to be I have always been very patriotic when discussing.
Please, we're going to do 2 minutes with that.
Okay. Oh, only 2 minutes.
Oh, no, we're done.
Oh.
We are 49,
so I am of the view that those who are calling for a total termination of the contract between YEA and Zoom Lion, I mean, I don't think they are good cause.
Okay.
Look, I'm in the private sector. I don't work with government. I am a private sector and I employ people. And it's not easy how we see things. We shouldn't speak out of emotions and hate against some corporate institutions. We can call for proper renegotiation of the whole contract. Or we decide that, okay, the monopoly YEA and Zoom Lion is enjoying from YEA should maybe reduce and allow some other players at the district. I see very encourage people in the district assemblies to register recycling companies so that the government gives them, YEA gives them some of the contracts to process and collect it. That's brilliant. But saying that to cancel the contract entirely with Zoom Lion is not reasonable. Okay. I mean, Zoom Lion is employing tens of thousands of people in the country. We can renegotiate the whole contract, offer them something now that the payment for these people is also increased. And let's bear in mind that these people who are sweeping, I'm not doing PR for for Zoom Lion. These people who are sweeping, they are not doing it the whole day. This young man and myself who will go and work for somebody like you, you work here from morning to evening. So, but this person goes 5 a.m. and in 2 to 2 hours, he or she finishes sweeping and go home. You don't expect such a person to receive salaries as compared to somebody who works the whole day. They take allowances. So I agree with the cause that we should increase it a bit.
But this calls for increase have been done by Zoom Lion in the past.
Yes.
And apparently it's, and this is something in Zoom Lion's press release, the letter they brought out, that they had done it since 20.
There have been increases.
They have been asking for increase from YA, but they just haven't gotten any good response from there. So why Zoom Lion is looking like the problem is where I'm talking.
Yes, Zoom Lion, according to the contract, Zoom Lion are not the deciders of how much these people are paid. But they suggest and recommend to the government to. So I'm thinking that with what Malik is currently doing, he should look at it very well, discuss with Zoom Lion, get other stakeholders involved with a fair wage for the sweepers as well as Zoom Lion. But an entire termination of the contract with Zoom Lion is not. So Manasseh to slow down. I know he has his personal issues with them. I mean, in as much as he wants to be more patriotic, but he should look at the corporate nature of how we can the private sector when the private PPPs, how we can let PPPs work in our country very well, and not to always run into bitterness. I'm not saying it's against them or not, but let's slow down. Let's put the politics sometimes aside and deal with issues. I mean, I'm in the private sector. I know what goes on.
Exactly. I see you're speaking from that. Mr. Acheisu.
Thank you very much, Mimi. So, Mimi, it is just right to set the tone, right? So, Zoom Lion enters into a contract with the National Youth Employment Program in the year 2006. That is how they were called. But now the YEA. And as at the time, from the amount Zoom Lion was being paid for per Zoom Lion was giving them as little as 285 Ghana cedis.
I think it started with 50 cedis, and it kept increasing. 280 is the latest one.
But this was even in the year 2006. 280 Ghana cedis.
2006 was 50 cedis. 50 cedis.
The data I have suggests otherwise. But what I'm saying is that if today, my brother is saying because you do not work 8 hours, or it's not a full-time job,
it's just
and so
2 hours.
It's just 2 to 3 hours, and so the 280 cedis is enough.
No, I'm not saying it's enough. No, I didn't say that. But I said this.
He said
it's renegotiated.
They should renegotiate,
and get them a fair one, but. To say that they are being cheated entirely.
They are being cheated because how much is Zoom Lion keeping for Zoom Lion?
Exactly. I looked at that figure as well. What they're keeping.
It is more than 60%. In fact, 70% of the total amount of money Zoom Lion takes from YEA. That is what Zoom Lion keeps for themselves and gives the remaining 20 to 30% to the staff. That is bad. And you see, my argument against Zoom Lion is not even transcend beyond the money and how much it is apportioned. My argument is, why was the contract with Zoom Lion? What was the contract with Zoom Lion in the first place? To ensure that the cities are clean and to ensure that we achieve some sanitation success. What has been the case? Have we achieved that? And so the contract should be terminated. Once you've been contracted to be a moderator for this show, you are not delivering. I don't think that it is even a matter of how much you are paid any longer. It is a matter of you going out, being set aside for what else to take charge. Because we've seen other young people, like for me, like I was discussing with my brother when I was coming, one of the things we need to do is to make sure that we decentralize some of these things. No centralized company should be given this. Give this contracts to the MMDCs, let them have their own subcontracts to various cleaning agencies that will handle this cleaning at their various districts level, so that they can monitor and ensure that cleaning is being done. Now it rains more and the entire spaces are flooded. Our beaches are filled with filth. And so Zoomlion has not done a good service. I think that just because the cities are still not clean, that is enough for them to set aside. And a further issue will be the amount of money that they are siphoning from their
And if at any point we decide that, listen, even though we don't have a completely clean Ghana, there has been some work done in certain areas, so we're going to renegotiate this. How much would you think would be fair?
How much will Reginald think it will be fair? Looking at the current socio-economic condition of Ghana, I think no staff should be going home with less than 2,000 Ghana cedis.
Okay. For the
for the staff.
It's just a question.
Yes, I'm just doing 30 seconds. What I'm trying to say is that
I'm setting the time.
An entire termination of the contract with Zoomlion is not fair.
It's not fair.
But bringing in competitors to compete with Zoomlion, you see, when we even started this heated conversation, Zoomlion is being, put in the right corner. I think that the conversation should continue. The decentralized level, as he's saying, let them compete them, just like bus stop boys who are currently on the country where we are seeing the result of what they are doing.
Better job done.
Let's give them a competition, in my opinion, so that when they compete with Zoomlion himself would either have to fasten their belts to meet the standard or pull out voluntarily. Right.
Absolutely.
But terminating with Zoomlion is
I think we can do one minute on the 1 minute, please. One on the A plus case, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, so...
You want to speak on it?
Yes, so on the issue of A+, when A+, made those allegations against the Attorney General, I call him Uncle Ayeni, on your show, that's how I call him, from North all up to now. I indicated that the office the Attorney General is holding is very sensitive, and for that matter, it was good that he sued A+.
Yes, you mentioned.
And I made a lot of public Facebook posts about that. Some people were
but now there's an apology.
So I'm even coming to the apology. People misconstrued that and felt maybe I was hating the AG or something. And so later on, when A+ came to give something sort of an apology, admission, concession, all sort of confusing himself and setting questions, answering them, marking and giving himself some points. In it all, I still think that the AG shouldn't be, distracted.
Okay.
He should go ahead, charge him for the alleged engagement in whatever scandal that he's being.
Those statements were found gross lies. I think the AG should be committed to his duty, going after the loot that have been stolen and recover them, prosecute those that needs to be prosecuted, and not think of going into the mud. And I would want to take the last 30 seconds of my time to wish all mothers a very big happy Mother's Day come Sunday. Mommy, happy Mother's Day, and also to Professor Jenano Pokwajiman, happy Mother's Day to you.
How is she doing? We haven't heard from her.
She's better. She'll be joining us very soon.
Awesome.
Thank you.
We're happy. In fact, we're happy to celebrate Mother's Day with her. She is our first mother, and so we'd like to celebrate Happy Mother's Day. In fact, Mother's Day with our first female vice president of the land. So we wish her all the very best. We're looking forward to doing that. And to you out there, thank you all so much for always being a part of this show. We'll see you again tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Make sure to join us on all social media platforms. It's MX24GH on all social media platforms. My name is Miriam Udwakmesa. And to my guest, thank you for coming through. Yes.
The dollar rate is coming down.
Oh, my
Hooray.
We'll talk about that next Monday. Okay. Have a good day.